welcome to M3Live. That song was actually off of my Here's to Life project, and that actually featured Eric Essex on guitar, Phil Davis on some keys, Kurt Mitchell on bass. So I'm really, really happy to hear that. So if this is your first time here, this is M3 Live. What is M3 Live? This is all about where I get a chance to spend some time with some phenomenal musicians and just talk a little bit, maybe share a little bit of music. So tonight we're going to be all about the positives, finding some positives in 2020. So welcome to M3 Live. If you're watching this, you are watching me on Facebook Live, but you can also go over to YouTube and watch it. You can also follow me on Instagram and all those wonderful platforms right there in the bottom. But without further ado, I've got some great, great friends joining me tonight. Tonight, I've got the Double Johns, the Double Johns, the Double Js. I have the phenomenal keyboardist, producer, whatever he feels like calling himself, studio owner, Mr. John Beal joining, as well as Mr. Jon Roberts. So first, I'm going to bring in my good friend, Mr. John Beal. And John, hey, man, what's up, dude?
Hey man, what's going on? Dude, this show is dope. Your intro is lit, man.
I
Oh,
appreciate that,
bro.
bro. I appreciate that. And next, I'm going to bring in, hey, Jon Roberts. You ready to say something, man? Jon Roberts, say hello, bro.
Hey, what's happening? How you doing?
Jon Roberts here. And guys, this is M3 Live. This is where I get a chance to hang out with you two phenomenal musicians and just chop it up a little bit. How about that, guys? So for everybody that's listening, for everybody that's out there listening, do me a favor, guys. We are 100% live. So if you want to ask either of the Double Johns a question, please feel free to shoot that in the comment box, and we'll try to get some of that answered. But, I introduced you all as Double Johns. John Beal, tell everybody who the heck you are without me introducing you, bro. Just share who is John Beal. Who is John Beal?
Hey man, I'm a native son of Atlanta, man.
Yes, you are.
I'm a keyboard player, lover of music, studio owner, producer, night manager at a restaurant. No, I'm just kidding. I do hair. No, man, I've cultivated, shows, production, tour manager, whatever happens, whatever needs to happen to make the music happen. I like to be involved in it. My latest endeavor is film composer.
Uh-huh. Okay. All right. Well, put your hands together enthusiastically for John Beal, guys. That is John Beal. We got to have some cheesy applause, John. We got to have some cheesy applause.
Hey, man, I live for the cheese, brother. I live
Exactly.
For the cheese.
And next, the other John, spelled Jon, Jon Roberts. Who are Jon Roberts? Who is Jon Roberts based off of this? Because if you don't tell him everything, I'm going to tell him the rest. Jon Roberts, what's up, man?
All right, Jon Roberts. I hail from born and raised in Gary, Indiana, but I got to claim Atlanta because I've been here over 30 years. So I'm an ATLian.
Got it.
Yeah, you are.
Got it.
I'm a father. I'm a grandfather. I'm a husband. I'm a friend.
Yes, you are.
Confidant.
Yes,
counselor to people. Preacher to some people. I mean, I'm a lot of things to a lot of different people. First and foremost, I'm a music lover, like John said. I love music. I write music. I play instruments. Produce music. Now producing film and TV project. And just trying to stretch out the rest of my life the best way I can.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for, based off in this vocalist extraordinaire, Jon Roberts. Hey guys, guess who we have joining us real quick? I got to throw him up on the screen right there. We got Doc.
Oh, Doc, what's up, man?
Now, I don't know who that question. I don't know who that question is directed at. I don't know if it's directed at either one of y'all, but he said he needs some help with the studio. So, who Doc, tell us who you're talking to. Both of them, because both of them got studios. You know what I'm saying? And then I have my good friend from Chattanooga joining us real quick. Just want to say shout out to Tangia. Yo, welcome. Now she does a beautiful event that we used to do years ago in Chattanooga called Rhyme and Chat up there, where we got a chance to do some music with poetry and all that wonderful stuff. So guys, check this out. Oh, Doc said, we'll get into that, Doc. Doc said he was talking to Beal. He was talking to
Okay.
Beal because we know what you just did. So, you know. But check this out. So tonight is all about John Beal. I got a JB. I'm gonna call you JB, and I'm
All
gonna
right.
call you JR. That way, I won't call y'all John. So
Who shot
JB
JR?
did a post the other day, and before we get started, guys, if you don't mind, what I'd like to do, because today is all about trying to bring the positive out of 2020. I'd like to take a second because I don't want anything to overshadow all of the loss and pain that many have suffered in 2020. So let's just take a couple of seconds, just a moment of silence for all those that have lost and are losing and suffering. Our prayers go out to everybody, and we don't want to make tonight about anything negative. It's all about the post that you made. So, John, tell us about the post that you made the other day. And, when I responded, I said that I wanted to keep the energy of your post. Tell us about that post, man.
So, man, you can get lost in Facebook, man. You turn on Facebook and every other post is somebody's, sick, or somebody's died, or you got somebody who's like flexing and flossing, artificially about, you know, that they're doing this and that, trying to make you feel like they're doing something that you're not. And I just wanted to say, forget all of that. So the reality is, a friend of mine posted a post that was very similar to mine, where she said, hey, post something beautiful that you saw in 2020. Forget all the negativity. She said, post something beautiful that you saw. So this year has been an interesting time for me. What I posted on her site or her page, was a monarch butterfly that landed in my garden.
Mm.
And then I thought about it, and then get a whole bunch of likes on that. I didn't do it for the likes, but I mean, but it actually meant something. I was like, man, people are looking for something beautiful. So then I said, let me take this post a step further on my page, and actually let's talk about something positive that you did during this time. Um, during the isolation or reflection or whatever you want to call it. So many of us got a chance to know ourselves or know our partners, or something. You
Mm-hmm.
learn something. This was a time for a lot of introspection. Is that a word? I'm
Make
not
it up.
sure, but
That's okay. Go ahead.
hey,
Go ahead.
man.
Make it up.
But I mean, but it's a time, and I know that I learned a lot about me. um it's like we define ourselves as musicians. Well, what do musicians do? We perform, we do gigs, we do shows. Well, all of that went away. So what are you outside of that? I had to
Mm.
ask myself that question. What am I outside of that? What else do you love? What else brings you joy? And it's funny, man. So I took up I took after Jesus, man, and became a carpenter.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and I say that jokingly, but let me just tell you, man, it is something about the smell of sawdust in the morning, man, that gets your blood flowing. And I started just making things. And
Mm.
so, normally I would talk about, to get to the end of the year and say, man, this is all the gear that I bought. I bought these speakers, or this, even Jon Roberts, man, JR, man, at least 2-3 times a year I run into him in the music store. Um, but this year you didn't see me in any music stores. You saw me in Home Depot. So
Mm-hmm.
instead of buying like I still bought Yamaha, but this time it was power tools. Um or no, but seriously, man, I mean, there's this little company, man. I'm not gonna give them a shout out because they're not paying me, but
Ah.
they
Mm.
have they have lime green tools. They need to pay me because I got the whole collection.
Uh-huh.
I'm
They
just
start
gonna
with a
say that.
they start with an R or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
yeah, but they need to pay me because I ended up, man, I probably invested in a small fortune in power tools. and I started building furniture. And then around the end of June, I was like, man, I can go ahead and finish my basement. My wife looks at me like, what? I said, yeah, we don't have to get a contractor. I can finish the basement myself.
Mm.
And she's like, all right. And I said, yeah, we're gonna start with my studio. That's gonna be my guinea pig. That's gonna be the and she was like, okay. So bought some more power tools and got to work, man. Got to
That's
work. The only thing I didn't do was the drywall because I did not want to do drywall myself.
got it.
But
Got it. Got it. So for everybody that's listening, do me a favor. I say listening because I'm so used to doing music. For everybody that's watching and listening, do me a favor. Just go ahead and throw something in the comment section about something positive. Like my good friend Tangia, she says that she became a first-time grandma.
nice,
Congratulations, grandma. See?
nice.
Congrats.
Some beauty in the chaos. John Roberts. Now
Yes,
I
sir.
know, John Roberts. I know what you've been working on over there. Uh, so what give us a little bit about what 2020 has enabled you to do besides growing that beard you got over there? Because
Yeah, I got the COVID beard going. This my Santa Claus. You know, I do this once. Now I'm just kidding.
hey,
But
bro,
man,
you see, I'm with you, man. Yeah, man. Yeah,
hey, you earn these. You don't just
exactly,
get these, you earn these. So it's a blessing to get these, Doc. But
exactly.
no, all seriousness, you know, I think probably the best two things that happened for me this year, I could say, is I have a 5-year-old grandson that I'm going to see for the first time and hold him tomorrow.
Wow.
My sister, they're leaving, coming, driving here now. So I'm excited about that. Found out my youngest daughter is pregnant, and so hey, got
Okay.
5 grandsons. No, yeah, 5 grandsons and one on the way, and hopefully she's a girl so she can get spoiled rotten. That's the best thing that happened to me out of 2020. Outside of that, it kind of pushed me outside of my comfort zone. I'm sure it did that to a lot of other musicians. You used to working every week or touring and going different places, and all of a sudden it came to a complete halt.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Well, when that happened, I was trying to think of ways how can I still make money, um, with this music thing. And the first thing that came to me was streaming. I don't know why, because you got to get 50 million streams to get $100. but all seriousness, I was like, well, it seems as though everybody is on their iPhone or smart device or computer watching content,
Mm-hmm.
you know, videos, TikTok or Facebook Live or whatever. So I was like, maybe I can try to hide my music under some of this content and, you know, things that get going that way. Little did I know the videos was going to get so popular. I was working with a lady I know you all familiar with, named by the name of Patrice Lovely. She played Hattie in a lot of Tyler Perry productions, and we met on tour, the Have and Have Not tour a few years ago, and we just started doing, basic iPhone content and putting it up, and took her following from about 60,000 to, as of yesterday, she's at 1 million.
Mm.
Wow.
Um,
Wow. Wow.
8 million TikToks. I mean, this whole visual thing, it just adds a whole another layer of this entertainment thing that, I didn't think I would be doing, but I'm blessed to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
During the COVID, when the government was giving out loans to businesses and whatnot, and I qualified, and I ended up buying some camera equipment and advanced what we were already doing into a Netflix ready TV pilot. So this is where I am now. I'm just about to turn the corner,
There it is.
2021. Like, come on, what you got?
Hey man, we got some people joining us, so I'm gonna go way back to my Universal days and another bass player in the house. We got Neil Wims joining us, y'all. Neil Wims is
Oh, Neil, what's
Oh,
up, man?
what's up, bro?
we got Neil Wims up in the house, y'all. And
Dang.
I don't know what it is, guys, about these bass players, but now we got my man Chris Snowden up in the house.
Chris,
Yo.
what up, bro? Hey, man, that's my little homie, man. Hey, look, this dude can groove like nobody, Doc. On
Hey,
that
man,
bass.
I've only heard Chris a few times, man, but every time I've heard him, man, it's like, who is? Because it's like, I'm used to seeing like, the old heads playing, and I heard, it's like, who's this little young dude out here, man, killing the game?
He got that grown man sauce.
And then, of
Man.
course, hey, John Beal. Guess who else
Yeah.
we got hanging out with us?
Let me guess.
PhD in the house.
Hey!
Oh,
What up, Phil? Hey, man. So Phil, let me tell you a quick story about Phil Davis, man. Phil is one of the meanest, nicest guys you ever meet.
Oh man, absolutely.
And what I mean by that is don't mess up on a gig, man, and mess up his music. Don't do that. Or don't mess up something or some music that he's really, really caring about, man. He will chew you to pieces and zone you out, but then will actually pull you to the side. That's what he will do that a lot of cats won't do, is pull you to the side and say, hey man, this is what you really need to do in order to make this better. And that's something that Phil Davis did for me when I was in college, man. My freshman year in college, we both went to Clark Atlanta University, and we both did our time in the jazz orchestra. We call it the JO, but some people call it the jail or JO, or we kind of play on words because you had to do your time there. And Phil did like 15 years, and but I did close to that. But Phil used to come back even after he graduated and come back and play that book because the director James Patterson wouldn't let you play the book on the actual performer. You could rehearse all year long. You wasn't gonna play and gig until you were ready to play that gig to represent the school. So Phil would actually come back all the time, and I would be like, man, I thought I was gonna play on this one. Phil would show up, but I would sit there and watch what he was doing, and then I don't know whether it was divine or whether it was planned. Biggest gig of the year. Last gig is the very first Clark Atlanta University Jazz Under the Stars. Phil was supposed to play. Rochelle Farrell or either Will Downing, one of them calls Phil and he can't do it. Guess who's up? Hey, put me in, coach. Coolest thing ever, man, because the person who I got to play with was Lionel Hampton.
Wow.
And
Wow.
thanks to Phil Davis, I was ready for that gig.
Wow.
Hamp came up to me at the end of the night and was like, hey, man, you got the chops, man. You cool. And that was a real good thing. But I can't tell you, man, I learned so much from that dude right there, man. So just wanted to shout out to Phil.
yes,
Hey man, don't get me started on my Phil Davis story. So I'm gonna tell y'all a quick Phil Davis story. Hey Phil, if you still listening and watching, check your text message, bro. But look, I remember I was y'all, if everybody's seen me perform, I like to walk, right? So
Yes.
my good friends will be honest with me. So this one gig, I was playing and I was, doing the crowd thing. I was walking around and doing all that kind of stuff. And Phil was like, hey man, why don't you just stand still? I knew exactly what that meant. That meant, hey bruh, you cracking too many notes, you messing up, you might want to just be still and play. But I appreciated
There's
that
so much
truth.
in there.
He's like, hey man, why don't you just stand still? And everybody that knows Phil, y'all know how he said that, how he looked at me when he said it. Jon Roberts.
Yes, sir.
What is going on with you right now in terms of production, new music, et cetera, et cetera?
Well, right now, like I said, we just did a a pilot called My Hattie featuring Patrice Lovely, Karan Riley. And I got an actor's credit in this. I'm playing a judge in the pilot, but so we got that going on, and I'm actually in the process of reorganizing a lot of things because now I'm moving towards more of the video and filming side of things. So just trying to prepare for that. So that I'll be ready next year.
Okay. So in sitting still, in sitting still, necessity is the mother of invention, as they say, correct? So in sitting
Mhm.
still, what new skills have you acquired during this time?
Um, Man, I got behind the camera, which is something that I always really wanted to do. I kind of always dabbled in photography, but I always wanted to just be behind the camera and just kind of let the world see what I see from behind the camera's eye
Mm-hmm.
and try to put art to it, put colors to it, music and all these different things.
Mm-hmm. Got it. So JB,
All right, man, I'm back. Sorry.
other than carpentry, oh, Michael Jones, sax man, Michael Jones.
Yeah, man.
You got Jon Roberts on speed dial? Is that what you said?
Why you got me on speed dial?
But he actually
What?
spelled your name correctly, John, so we know exactly which John he's talking about.
Yeah, because I've been accused of being my other brother from another mother, Mr. Jon Roberts, the drummer. you know, um, when I remember it's a funny joke. Like when I used to get checks from the union, and it's like 3 Jon Roberts, I think, in Atlanta, right? So I would go down to the union, get my check, and Andrew Sheps, I think is his name. He would be like, "Okay, which one are you?" And I said, "How big is the check?" And he'd be like, nah. You spell your name Jon, you easy to remember. So
See, exactly. John Beal, tell us
Yeah, man.
about. So my question is this for you, sir. You now have 2 production sites. Can you elaborate a little bit on,
I,
you
I
know,
actually I have 3. Sorry.
oh, see the hidden one, the hidden secret. So tell us about the one you're in now. We already know about
All right.
Orange Room. So give us a little, what's going on with all this rebuilding that you have going on? Because 2020 has blessed you, sir. So what you got going on, man?
All right, so 2020, man. So Orange Room Studio, man. I took on 2 other full-time producer engineers that are working with me over at Orange Room. Most people that know me know that I don't do hip hop. That is not my thing. I don't have anything against it. It's just not my wheelhouse. But it's hard to run a studio in Atlanta and not do hip hop. So I finally, after running the studio over there for 15 years, took on a hip hop producer, and actually 2 of them, and they are doing some phenomenal work, man, and they are keeping the studio booked. I also took on another young producer. His name is Kerry Durham. He's a violinist and producer, and he's producing a lot of indie rock bands. And so I've got indie rock bands and hip hop artists booking out Orange Room Studio. Guess what? I can't get in my own studio half the time to do work. So I said that's what made me decide to start working on my own space here. I had an unfinished space. I was working in the unfinished basement, but I decided to step it up because, I can't say, "Hey man, I do scoring, I do whatever," and I'm working in an unfinished space. I decided to enter film scoring competitions this year. And my first one was one that HBO did. I don't know if you're familiar with the show Westworld.
Yeah.
Uh, so Westworld and Spitfire Orchestra Samples had this competition to score a scene in Westworld and have it judged by Jerry Bruckheimer and some other folks and all kinds of um, people in the film industry that are doing big stuff. So I actually jumped in the fire, man, and went ahead and scored a couple of scenes from Westworld. Did not win that competition, but it put me in the running to where I started getting emails from people who wanted me to do some other things. Now, it's not my first time scoring. I did some stuff. I have two films that got awards winning films that were in like the Bronze Lens Film Festival. Anybody who's from Atlanta knows Kathleen Bertrand and
Kathleen.
Bronze Lens Film. So um, two times I was working with films that have actually gotten awards in the Lens Film Festival, but none of those films had budgets or things that really showcased what I wanted to do film wise, as far as like doing action sequences, big orchestral stuff. So I found that doing these competitions, you're getting this top notch quality, footage that's already been shot and sound. I don't have to go through and clean up sound before I can start working. And that's what I've been doing. So my latest one is I just entered into the Berlin International Film Scoring Competition. And it's cool because it's no age limit. So I'm going up against composers from all over the world, man, who are doing film scoring. Everybody, all ages, young people, old people, and people like Hans Zimmer and
Mm,
Hans Christensen and for other folks. They are the ones who are going to be judging and listening to these things, man. So that's where I'm going right now. Is
wow.
and this was I'll have some examples of these things on my site or social media later on in the year, coming forward after the submission deadlines.
Hey guys, so I want to try this real quick. Check this out. Check this out right quick. Watch this. Watch this right here. Watch what I'm gonna do right here. Watch what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna go there. Now, Phil
Oh,
Davis.
Hey,
What's up, man? What's up, fellas?
Philip.
We now
Y'all
have
good?
we are great, bro. We got
Hey
Phil
man,
Davis in the house, man.
Good to see
Phil.
y'all, man. I'm glad I
hey
caught this
man, it's good to
actually.
see you.
Hey man, we
You
are
all are
glad.
spreading
Go ahead, Phil.
you all are spreading alternative facts and fake news all over here.
About
So I just need to clear the air.
you need to
What
clear
you
the
gonna say?
air.
What you gonna say? You're not the nicest producer on the planet.
No, I'm the least nicest.
The least nicest. Really?
It's good to see y'all, man.
Good to see you
it's
too,
Hey
good
bro.
to
man,
be seen and not viewed.
Yeah,
So Phil
man.
Davis. So I got questions for all three of you all because John Beal touched on something a few minutes ago. 2020, when we're looking at the positive side of it, 2020 has caused some some people to have to rethink how they're doing things. I think Phil and I we talked about the educational piece and how we're using having to be creative as we are teaching. But I guess more than anything, I want to talk about ownership because each of you all own your own spots. You can literally roll
Mhm.
out of bed and create. And in 2020, by it shutting everything down, there are a lot of cats that just haven't been able to work or even record or even make music. So, uh, anybody, Phil, since you just joined us, uh, ownership, bruh. You got everything happening behind you. Phil Davis, for all of y'all that don't know, has pretty much produced every record I've ever done. I believe, I believe every record I've,
Almost.
yeah,
Almost.
almost like really, yeah. So Phil Davis, ownership, share, bruh. What you got?
Well, I just say in the midst of some things that do not go your way, that you need to make some changes around you. And this was a big one, but I've seen them in a lot of places. The person that has the studio is King,
Mm.
And uh yeah, you can have a situation. I'm not just saying a studio like a physical place. I'm talking about a studio, which is a place that you've worked on and invested in a room that sounds good and a mindset that knows what good things sound like. And so therefore, you have a room. People trust you uh, if you can make good music out of the ideas that they bring to you. And it's fine. If you can't do it, it's fine. Then find somebody else. But I have a couple of people that said, yeah, I can do what you do because I can just buy the same equipment that you have, but you don't have it. Yeah, you can buy it as much as you want, but you don't have it. I'm using this. Yeah, I
Yep.
don't
Hey,
need this.
hold on one second,
I
guys. Don't go.
use this.
Don't hang on one.
You just interrupted me.
I did. I did. And it's not very often that I get a chance to do that. So y'all see how I did that
You
real quick?
He had to show you
I
that
don't you messed
he
up
was
my
the king
flow.
right here, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm the king right here. Like you're terrible.
I'm the king.
I'm the
I'm
king.
the king around here.
But no,
Hey, so
but go
side
ahead.
side note, y'all. Are you all gonna see Coming to America too?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, I gotta watch
Okay.
it. I know
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Have you all seen Soul?
Absolutely.
Oh
Yes.
I
my
haven't
God.
seen it.
Yes. Absolutely.
Who hasn't seen it?
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. See it. It's serious. It's real deep. Uh, so that's just it. I don't,
It's so good, man. It's so good.
yeah, it really is. But I just say on ownership, yeah, yeah, building our own businesses and uh having something for ourselves is something we need to take from years and years ago, where we had our own businesses and we had our own communities that helped each other. And so this is exactly where this comes from. You take care of the community by taking care of yourself by not relying on others really.
Mm, mm,
Uh,
mm,
so yeah, if you say I want to make music and I have to go to somebody else to do it, then what are you really doing? Can you study? Can you learn it for yourself? Or is there somebody that you trust? Can you make a relationship where you can have something where you can go to the studio to do more things? How do you build these relationships so that you can make something better for yourself and then make something better for somebody else? We don't know what this art that we create is going to impact for somebody else. We just make the art and see how it flies. Make as much music as you can.
mm-hmm,
Yeah, John's
mm-hmm.
getting ready to make a whole bunch of music by this freaking studio that he just made. I'm looking over here like, really, you got all this stuff over here that said the real music makers or the real filmmakers that want to do music will start to go over to John Bill's studio because he's taken so much time to do it.
Mm,
Yeah,
mm,
I'm sure it sounds great. And if it doesn't, it's fine because he's gonna make it better. But he's a giving person, so it'll just make it better. But the space is beautiful.
mm-hmm,
John Roberts' space is beautiful, and then he
Hmm.
changed it around.
mm-hmm,
Yeah,
mm-hmm,
so it's just like making a situation comfortable enough for somebody to come in to be to care about and to trust that you will do the best thing possible to help their music be the best that it can be. That's all you
mm-hmm,
can really do.
mm-hmm. Hey guys, real quick,
So
we have the
oh,
wonderful
uh,
Chandra Corelli joining us too. Chandra is hanging out with us tonight.
Ha ha
hey
Hey,
ha
Chandra.
ha.
Hey.
CC. What
Awesome.
up?
Well,
Yeah,
let me
man.
piggyback on one of the things that Phil said about the room that I just built, man. So this very the room I just built is very different from Orange Room. A lot of people have been over at Orange Room. This room is set up for composing, mixing, film. But one thing that's really unique about this room, I designed it from the ground up for Dolby Atmos. Now, I don't
Mm,
know if you're familiar with what that is.
mm,
It is the new surround sound format that both Netflix, Amazon, and pretty much every major motion picture is expecting for deliverables. And right now, as far as I know, I am the only independent studio in Atlanta that is set up from the ground up as a Dolby Atmos room.
mm-hmm.
So I've been in contact with Dolby for them to come out and certify my room, hopefully sometime early in the next first quarter of next year.
Yeah, that's good.
Wow.
So
That's
I
good.
will be I will
Mm-hmm.
be a Dolby certified Atmos room with 11.2 surround sound.
You see, he got too many speakers. That's what it is. He does. 11.2. Really? You need to hear that much? What's wrong? What's wrong, John? JB, what's wrong?
JB, JB, you got too many speakers, bro.
That's
You got.
Hey man, I'm just trying to do something different, man. I sat there. It's like, what's the point of building a room if it's just going to be the same thing?
Mm-hmm.
Dig.
Dig.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. So in that, guys, in terms of ownership, like Phil was saying, the fact that you buy the equipment, like I have almost the same keyboard that Phil has sitting right in front of me. It don't sound like Phil. It don't do nothing that Phil does. So it's not necessarily just buying the same equipment. You know what I'm saying? We can run down a list of equipment for everybody to get, but it's
yep.
also about being able to control that piece of equipment. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
I
Absolutely.
own a beautiful trumpet. It's upstairs right now.
I bought a purple trumpet for my daughter that she
Oh,
doesn't play, and
oh
I'm pretty
Lord.
sure it sounds amazing.
But speaking of which, though, seriously, Phil. So I don't know if many people know it, but Phil, what didn't you, or you still do? When's the last time you played the French horn, man? Seriously.
Oh my goodness. So it's been about, so Xavier is like his third year in college or maybe fourth year or something like that. So it may have been like 6 or 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
say 5 because um he had to do his audition. He said, "Can you help me practice?" So I said, "Okay." And so he had a mellophone or something there, and we were reading through the music, and I gave him my French horn, and so we played through it. So I had a really good, hard, strong 2 minutes in me, and I was good. It was strong, and I
Two
was
minutes.
like, "Yeah,
We,
you
we're,
sound good."
we're
And it
still
was like,
talking about French horn.
it's like, "Purr, purr, 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 purr." It's like I just went down in flames. It was terrible. You can't play nothing like that. And not, yeah, it's. So I helped him. So I said, I put it down and I said, listen, put whatever down you're working on, pick this up and play this. It's too big of a horn. If you take the French horn and because it's curled up, if you take the French horn and take it and make it like straight,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Mm-hmm.
more than 5,000 square feet. It's like crazy long. So yeah, it's like
You
you got to
said
go through all
5,000
this
square
stuff.
feet.
Yeah, 5,000. Yeah, as a house. Yes. Yes. You
Hey
do it.
Phil, I don't.
Yeah, yeah, and you know what? You can do it and try it, but you'll never be able to do it. So you'll never be able to discount me ever,
I don't know
ever,
if you
ever, ever.
heard what John Bill asked you a few minutes ago when you said you had a good strong. I don't think you heard John. You want
Hey man, you gotta let that go.
No, 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 no. Don't say it.
go ahead. Go ahead, John. What'd you say, John?
He said, I got a good 2 minutes in me. I was like, we still talking about music.
No, that's less than that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's less. I'm sorry. I'm striving to
Oh,
be better at less time.
See, there it is. Better
there
at
it
less
is.
time.
More
Um,
efficient.
hey guys, my sister is joining us. Cynthia, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Cynthia, where you at?
Hey,
What you doing?
thank you.
Yeah, man. So in keeping with the original theme, guys. So Jon Roberts,
Yes,
2020,
sir.
2020. We got one more day left. You know, what's your takeaway from 2020 in terms of what you got, what you're doing, what you're going to be doing Saturday, next year, Saturday.
Man, I've learned so many hard lessons. But the one thing that I learned that that was kind of important is that you got to be careful who you share and what you share with. Being open. I like to think of myself as a giving person. I'll give and pretty much do anything for anybody. But sometimes when you deplete it and there's no, you're not getting that same thing back, you have to fight your way back to a certain place.
Yeah.
I kind of learned that when you trust God, everything will be all right.
Mm.
You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
Absolutely.
When you believing on His will for your life, and sometimes you can get distracted with things and ideas and stuff like that. And we're fallible, we human. That happens. But when you really put that trust in Him and His will for your life, you can't go wrong, man. Even when you look like you ran into a mistake, it's a lesson. It's like everything is like, what can I take away from this situation positive? You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So
Mm-hmm.
I've gained a lot. I've gained a lot.
Mhm.
I've gotten closer to seem like you get closer to family because you can't see them and hug them, love on them like you want to. So it just
Mhm.
put a lot of stuff in perspective for me, man. Especially as it relates to my kids and my grandkids. You know what I'm saying? Because the Bible says a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. Well, that generation is here for me. So I had no
Mhm.
more time to mess around. It's got to be for real. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And the I think the most valuable lesson that I can take away from this year is you don't know how much time you have. You know what I'm saying? You could be on top of the world today, and tomorrow the world be on top of you.
Mm.
So if you focus on those good things and those positive things, and focus on trying to do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? Because if you do the right thing, the wrong thing will never be able to chase you.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, I've learned and I take away that from this year, you know what I'm saying? And then those things that I deem to be negative is just a lesson. It was like, oh, okay. Well, I fell off the bike going down the hill, going too fast. So now I know not to do that no more.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah. Hey guys, real quick, we got Birmingham in the house too. We got drummer extraordinaire PJ Spraggins up in here visiting us.
PJ,
Hey,
what's up?
What up? What
What's
up?
happening?
man.
Hey man,
So
well, go ahead, John. Go ahead, JB.
I was just about to say something, man. But shout out to PJ, man. First time I ever heard that dude play drums. I have never heard anybody play drums that quietly with that much intensity.
Mm, mm,
Mhm.
His middle
mm,
dynamic, man, is unlike any other drummer that I've heard, man. I mean, he'll be driving that thing full on, and you be just as quiet as a mug.
And he
And that's
plays keyboards, and he's a great producer. Like
Yes.
like his
absolutely
music is like really really good.
his music. His music is dope.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm just listening to him. Like, you asking me for questions? Like, what are you talking about?
Yep.
And he's a nice guy.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Um, what were you gonna say, John? Were you gonna say something else, JB?
Oh no, no, go ahead, man. It's your show.
No, it's our show, guys. Look, check this out. Check this out. I just wanted to come on because seriously, your JB, that post hit home to me. I mean, for me, sitting still, like literally sitting still. I don't know about y'all. uh, there's some truth in every joke, but sitting still during COVID, I you know I didn't trust nobody. I don't trust nobody.
Yeah,
Everybody has to
yeah,
stay like, you know, Marsha comes home from work. I'm like, okay, uh, go ahead and do what you got to do before you hug me. You know, it's
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it, it's it's
And
allowed
I,
us to.
I totally understand, man. I saw you at Home Depot and we're like sitting here like doing the same stuff and we ran into each other and it was just like, hey man, and we were like, hey, how you doing? Like it was like this. We haven't seen each other for a minute. And then we just,
Exactly.
oh, we go to the same places. So I'm like, the next time I go here, I might see this dude again. Like, so yeah. And I understand. I don't know who you've been around. You don't know who I've been around. We need to be safe about this. We don't know about our immune system. So we really need to start talking about some other things to take care of ourselves. Vitamins, number one.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Definitely, since we are in the winter months, we need vitamin D.
Mm-hmm.
A
Mhm.
lot of that because we're not going to get out. We're not going to get a lot of sun. Uh, Prostate, you're going to need apple cider vinegar. You're going to need a lot of things that you take and you couple up with a little bit at a time. Multivitamin for sure. But yeah, just to do that, and then B12 to give you energy.
Mm-hmm.
But but yeah, so I'm just really happy that everybody's doing as well as they can, and the people around us are doing fine. The people that have to be out. Tell them to wear a mask. I don't like being in the house, so I leave, but I'm in the car. And then when I'm around people, I'm away from people.
Mm-hmm.
Like I
Mm-hmm.
stay away. I'm not in crowds. I'm not going back to other places that are crowded. And we just need to do this for, and we can talk about this. I think it's for another 6 months before we get to
I,
70% herd
six.
immunity.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
I think it may be a little bit longer than that, Phil, but I think we're headed in the right direction.
mhm.
And I'm in agree. I have an optimistic lookout for or outlook for the next year. I know it's going to be a trip for the first couple of quarters. You know, it's definitely 6 months, maybe a little bit longer. But I'm
Mhm.
looking at all of the inroads that people have been making with the streaming and with all of this technology. And even when we get back to doing performances, this technology is not going to go away. This is going to
We're
be,
going to use it in our performances.
yeah.
We'll
Absolutely.
just bring these cameras with us. I'm telling you, it's a
Yeah,
win-win, Doc.
yeah, it's
Mhm.
Yeah.
it's a win-win. But but to piggyback on what you said about us being careful, I think that some of us are in too big of a rush to try to get back into these small crowded performances. And I can
Agreed.
tell you that I'm not in a rush. I mean, people have been calling me for performances, and I've been saying no. I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
And fortunately, um, because going back to the first thing I said, 2020 forced me to look and see what else I have to bring to the table.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And because I have these other things that I'm bringing to the table, I haven't lost that much money. I mean, as a matter of fact, I'm starting to get more income things are happening for me now. And that's a cool thing. I know everybody is not in that situation, and I'm not taking it for granted that everybody is, and I don't take it for granted that I've been blessed in this situation. It's a combination of being blessed, but it's also a combination of being prepared. You have to be
Mm-hmm.
prepared to receive the blessing.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
because there are a lot of times, you have some people call it blessing, some people call it opportunity. But when opportunities come in your way, and if you hadn't prepared for it, you can't get ready for it when it happens.
Hey
Oh
John, we
man, my
lost your
camera just went out.
yeah, we lost your camera
Ah,
for a second. So while
oh man,
John's
hold
doing
on.
that, while John's doing that, I want to take 2 seconds and go back to what we were talking about, Phil, for a second. So my sister Cynthia is a flight attendant, and she just put up there that some people still don't listen with masks. Like as a flight attendant, she's had to put some people on the no-fly list. It's like,
Yeah.
come on, guys. You know, we what do we need to do to get people to understand that, you know, the vaccine is coming, it's here, but it's still, you still have to wear a mask even once you get the vaccine. You still
Yeah, I
have to
just think
protect yourself.
I think it's a lot of things that are going on, misinformation about things that we don't trust a lot anymore. And this is systemic because it didn't happen just for now. It happened before 2008, where these things started to happen for us, to where now we just don't trust really anything.
Mm,
And
Mm-hmm.
so it's made us have to trust what we believe more than what it is. And so if you believe that's what it is, then you do it. Now in Cynthia's case, yeah, she has to work to say you have to do this, and she has a backing to say no, you can't do this because the company says. And that's fine. That's fine. But yeah, if I have a company, or if I have an establishment and I say wear a mask, and you don't have on one, you can't come in. Yeah, it doesn't matter about whatever rights you really have. It's just like, yeah, if you come in here, you have to wear this. And if you don't, fine, don't. Then just don't come in, go somewhere else where it's cool. And really, it's not that bad. All of the masks, like the 3D masks, are actually very good.
mm,
And you're gonna wear them just for a little bit of time, and then you get in your car and you take it off.
mm-hmm.
Right.
So, and this is just for a time. And if not, then take your chances, catch
Well,
it, and see what you do. Especially if
So
you're a smoker, or if you don't take care of yourself, and things like that, then what are you gonna do? You know, just for your beliefs. I don't
so
get mad about it anymore.
let me just give a personal testimony on mask, man, real quick. I was around somebody who did not want to put on a mask, and they were in my space, and I was like, yo, you have to put on a mask. You have to put on a mask, period, or you have to go. They put on a mask. So they ended up being in my space for probably, several hours. And sure enough, a few weeks later, or actually not even a few weeks later, a few days later, they called me and said, yo, I'm COVID positive. So of course, I go out and do, you know,
Hmm.
do a COVID test, and then I do several other days of COVID test, and quarantine. It's easy for me to quarantine because I wasn't doing nothing but building stuff here by myself anyway. But I took over the course of about 6 or 7 days. I took like three COVID tests: the rapid test, the regular test, and then also the plasma test, and they all came back negative. Thank you, but I believe it's because I told this person to put on a mask before they got all into my space.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking to myself, man, suppose I hadn't really just put my foot down, you know, on that and said, all right, man, it's okay. This person is cool. I know them. Nah, man. Everybody needs to wear a mask because you don't know your situation. You don't know who you were exposed to. And I know we're supposed to stay positive, man, but the positive in that is that I held to my my standards, and I'm still here and healthy.
But I think the positive in that is that it makes us all more health conscious. Like Phil was saying, you know, I would have never thought to take vitamin D. When Cynthia came back off one of her trips, she bought me like a couple of bottles of vitamin D, and told me to take them. You know, I think it's
Mhm.
made us more health conscious.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. And eat better. And I see John, JB, more than I see you all. And I still wear a mask when I go over to the crib.
mm-hmm,
You
Yep.
know,
mm-hmm.
I borrow gear, and I got to bring it back to him tomorrow. And I'm gonna have a mask on. Yeah. and we just share equipment, and it's not even a case. But I don't know who he's been around, and I'm out in the streets or doing whatever I'm doing. You have to protect yourself as much as you can, because you just
Absolutely.
don't
Yep.
know.
Jon Roberts. So
Yes, sir.
I think you can speak a lot on the health consciousness as well, because you went through some things a little while ago, and I've been
Well, John has
concerned
a
about you, my
built-in mask.
brother.
John
Huh?
has a
Oh yeah,
built-in mask. It's great.
Built-in mask.
yeah, man.
Merry
Hey,
Christmas. Hey, Merry Christmas, man.
ho ho ho.
That is
He don't, yeah, he doesn't have a mask. He has a beard bra.
Oh,
oh
come on, man.
a
You got
beard
one
bra.
home, and after that,
Oh,
I'm done. I'm done, John. I'm done.
that's all right. We'll
He
get you
said
back.
a beard bra.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
C cups.
Come on,
Y'all
man.
have issues. A C cup.
No, man, but all seriousness, yeah, now, when you get over like 40, 45, it's really, you got to be real careful of, what you're putting in your body and those things, 'cause when you're younger and your metabolism and moves a lot faster, and you can burn stuff off a lot faster, and you can go to Waffle House and Crystals after the gigs and eat all that bad stuff, you know. But it's really not good for you, some of y'all know I had a couple of heart attacks and I flatlined on the second one. But when I was going through my cardiac rehab, I found out, based on your blood type, how I was supposed to be eating. And, my blood is A positive, uh, which you're supposed to be a strict vegetarian, you know. And my wife, my mom, my grandma, we like to eat. Melvin, you done been by the house. We like to
Absolutely.
eat. So, when I found that out, I was like, man, that was kind of traumatizing because everything that I like, I'm not supposed to have. Rice, potatoes, anything heavy with starch or white bread, all that stuff that I love, I ain't supposed to have.
Mm-hmm.
And when I ended up getting type 2 diabetes, that was just the prelude to a bunch of other problems.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Um, your body just started getting weak, and you're not able to hold up and fight against some of those things. So I try to encourage my brothers, go get your colonoscopy. If you haven't gotten one, if you're over 40,
Mhm.
please go get that. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Make sure you be on top of your blood work, just keep staying on top of your blood pressure and stuff like that. And know that everything that you eat, anything that you eat has sugar in it. Anything.
Mm-hmm.
So the more sugar you put in your body, the more damage you're doing to your body. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, you got a car, you put oil in your car to make it run well, and then all of a sudden you just start putting bad oil in it or old oil. Eventually those parts gonna start wearing down and give you some problems down the road.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happens with our body. You know what I'm saying? As musicians, we up late, we don't get the proper amount of rest that we should be getting. Um, we eat wrong, you know what I'm saying? And then coupled with everything else that you goes on with life that creates stress and all these other things, it's just bad, you know.
John, Royalty Thomas said you was about to go into Fred G. Sanford mode because all them jokes. You talking about you got one more time. You got one.
That's my good buddy. That's my good buddy Tim Thomas, record producer. Um, he always got jokes. Everybody coming for me tonight, I guess.
Hey man, but
It's all
no,
good. We
Hey,
love you, bro.
hey, man. But
yeah,
that's the thing, man. You know when somebody's really loving you, man, when they talking about you.
absolutely,
When
absolutely.
when
Yeah.
you start worrying about it when they stop talking about you. When the people he's like, oh, okay, hold up.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
well, I don't know. That depends on what they're talking about.
That's true. That's
Well,
true.
well,
That's true.
well. But I
But
think
then they
that.
don't love
Go
you.
ahead, John. Go ahead, JB.
I, I said, but then those are the ones that don't love you.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Yeah, man.
I think John, you and Phil hit on it with John when Phil was talking about the vitamins and John is talking about staying on top of your health. I know Kurt Mitchell is a big proponent of making sure that you go get checked
Yeah.
regularly. I think if nothing else, 2020 has made us more conscious of our pre-existing situations.
Hmm.
I had asthma as a child, and supposedly when I started playing trumpet, that helped with my breathing and helped fix it. But that is a pre-existing condition, so I've been more conscious of my health, making especially with a respiratory uh, virus like this, I've been more conscious of breathing and making sure that I'm taking care of my health. If nothing
Mhm.
else, I've actually lost weight, during this
Oh, good
because I am,
deal. Good
yeah, I
deal.
am a little, watching what I eat, and uh,
Mm.
I had a joke, but I can't say it because I still got to
Yeah,
get
I know. I
upstairs.
know. I know. I know. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I had a
Don't do it.
joke.
You're eating better. You're eating better. Leave it at that.
Yes, I'm eating better. There it is. I'm eating better. But I think 2020 has made us just a lot more health conscious. Also, in terms of the mask, I think that everybody has become more self conscious. Hopefully, because when you put that mask on, sometimes you smell some things that you wouldn't normally.
Woo, man.
Yeah, when you chase yourself out the room, something wrong.
Man.
Put that mask on, you become conscious of that. Remember that time you leaned in to
No,
talk to
no.
somebody and
Yeah,
they
but
backed
the
away?
first time, and then you check yourself. Whoa, whoa, wait. Oh, that's me. Hey.
Man.
I
But
know
I
I'm not
tell
the only one. I put that mask on. I
hey,
was like,
Yeah, yeah.
mm,
man, let me give y'all something, man, that I've found. Peppermint oil. I line
Mm.
all of my masks with peppermint oil now. It does two things. One, it actually helps to keep the mask smelling fresh all day. But two, the peppermint oil is good for your sinuses. And I have sinus issues.
mm-hmm.
And so it is the peppermint oil, but by me breathing that in all day has actually helped a whole lot keeping stuff clear during this time. So I'm just sharing that. But peppermint oil, man, it keeps a lot of the funk down, bro. If
Yeah,
there's any, if there's any. Speaking of
You
funk, though,
Speaking of funk, what you got?
speaking of funk, what's up with the music, man? We're supposed to be playing music. We're supposed to be talking about the music, the funk.
Well,
well,
I wanted
I
I
have
wanted to
another
take it.
question.
What's that?
I have another question. How much are
Yes.
we really, all of us, are we really practicing? How much are we
Woo!
practicing?
So
How much do we really play our instrument now?
John Beal, earlier when we were doing the sound check, John Beal hit on something because, and I'll start off with me personally, Phil, to answer your question. I've spent so much time trying to get my stream game up and my camera game and set up all this streaming stuff and getting it together that I've done of several virtual performances, and the minute I put that trumpet to my lips, it smacks me right back because
Sure.
the muscle memory, you know thinking I'm finna take a solo that my fingers said no you not. uh
Mhm,
yeah,
mhm.
so JB earlier was said that I don't want to take your statement, JB, but go. You said that you don't do certain things because when you do those things, you should be.
Practicing, or I should be composing or writing or doing something more productive with my primary craft, which is music. Um,
Mhm.
and like early, we were literally talking about even getting ready for this. I'm using a different camera for this podcast or this broadcast, and I spent several hours trying to get this particular camera to work to the way I wanted it to work. And the whole time I'm getting frustrated because I need to be I'm doing this technical crap and not working on my primary craft, which is music. And yeah. So Phil, to answer your question, the answer is not enough.
Mm,
Mm.
how about that?
I mean, let's just
Okay.
call it what it is. The answer is not
Sure.
enough. Have
Mhm.
I been practicing? Absolutely. Have I been practicing enough with the amount of time? Nah, man, I need to. And the interesting thing as when we're kids, we wasted a lot of time when we were kids because watching TV, playing games, doing all kinds of other things when we should have been working on our craft. Then we get older, we have other all these different responsibilities that come up that get in the way of us actually being able to practice our craft. This time right here, when all of the gigs went away, this is the perfect time to sit down and work on your craft. What else you gonna do? I mean, obviously we've created new avenues, we've learned new skills, but we need to, like you just said, Phil, we need to be working on our primary craft even more.
Right.
So
And I understand
I feel
exactly what you're saying. I do. However, let's go back to the movie Soul.
Hmm.
Okay. He just wanted to be a jazz piano player, and he really looked like me. You know, look at it
he did.
again. He looks like me.
He did.
And
He did.
however, however, is that all that's in your life? We found in 2020 that we can do different things, a lot of
Hmm.
different things that we can do those things well. So yeah, you're not practicing. Should we be practicing? Yes. What should we be practicing on? Whatever you need to. What do you need to be doing? What are you practicing for? Are you practicing for a gig? The gigs are not there. What are you practicing for? What are you doing? What are you doing something else? Are you building a studio? You're building a studio to do something else musically. Who are you really? You have to ask these questions to
Hmm.
yourself. And these are the hard questions I ask to myself. I don't practice, to be really honest with you. When I have a gig, the first 3 songs are practice in therapy to get back to muscle memory.
Mm,
And so I
mm,
do that. Once you get back to it, then it's like, oh, I remember what I used to do.
mhm,
Okay, it's fine. But I'm doing other things, that I found other things that are more important. Sonny Emery told me something that changed my life. He says, "What do you do beyond music?" I say, "I work on computers." Yeah, but that's music. That's still based off of music because you do computer music. You need to do something else that's not related to music for it to have some meaning. Herbie Hancock talked about it too, and he talks about the meaning of life. Just it needs to be something else. You need to have an encompass of all of these things in order to bring all of these examples to your music for them to have meaning, for you to be able to play about something. Otherwise, you're just regurgitating notes that somebody else did, that
mhm,
somebody else taught you.
mm,
So no, you have to have this stuff. This is the downtime that I think that we need. Yeah, I've been practicing. Practicing for what? Why didn't you find another skill? Why didn't you find another hobby? Why didn't you do something else? Why didn't you reconnect with your significant other or your kids or something like that? And then you have
Hmm.
these great ideas, and then you write a song.
mm,
Man,
mm,
this is like serious like that. Like, yeah, you don't have to play like that all the time. But yeah, you should keep your chops up. But then what are you doing it for? I mean, we got 6 months. We don't have no gigs. Like, we're not playing. Like, what are you talking about? So,
Man,
so what,
Phil,
what are you gonna
you
do?
told me, Phil, you told me something that changed my life, man. And um I remember when you told me, I don't remember the date or anything, but it was 20 years ago.
Hmm.
And yeah, I've known you that long. You
Yeah.
literally said there are two types of musicians. There are creative musicians and there are recreative or recreational musicians. You need to decide what type you're going to be.
Mhm.
And that statement changed my life. It literally made me just sit down and be like, okay, what am I going to do? But to your point of what you're saying right now, you got to find something outside of music to inspire that creativity.
Absolutely.
So I know you just said that. I'm just saying it again in case they didn't
No,
hear it the
and
first time.
it's
Well,
all good, bro. It's all good, man.
I'm
Because I did. I did. I got married again, and I found that practicing all the time and being down in the studio was not the way. I want to go and get sushi and eat pizza and get a pizza oven in the back and cook all the time. And then after I do all that stuff, then I want to do other stuff, and then I'll get back to the music, and then the music was like, dang, this is dope. I would have
mm,
never
Yep.
known that if I was just sitting down here trying to make music all the time, or if you're having an argument and you're mad at somebody, or you've had a disagreement, and then you come down and you express it through the music. Use it. Use
mm,
it.
Yep.
mhm.
Come on,
I,
bro.
I spent
I'm
I spent my day yesterday, man. Melvin, tell you we were supposed to do this yesterday originally, and I came in, exhausted, covered in paint because I spent yesterday painting my sister's Zen room.
Mm,
But guess who I was painting it with? My oldest son. My oldest
mm,
son came over with me, and I taught him how to paint a room.
mm,
dig.
And for me, man, that right there is that's worth 10 times the studios or anything else, man. Me and him hung out, and guess what we were doing? We were listening to his music playlist the entire time.
There it
And he
is.
was
yeah.
There
and
it
he
is.
was telling and he was hipping me to some stuff, man. And then he was going back and he was playing like Jeff Lorber and some Steely Dan mixed in with like the weekend. I mean, it was
Mhm.
crazy. And I'm sitting there for like,
There it
hold up, hold up. I didn't tell you about Steely Dan. And and he was like, oh yeah, I discovered him when after you hit me to what's his name? The guitar player that you and I both love, Phil. Um
Pat Metheny.
Pat Metheny, yeah. So I hit my son to Pat Metheny several years ago, and he's just taking that and run with it. But he basically was just regurgitating this stuff back to me yesterday, but hipping me to like new artists that sound like these old artists
Mm,
Cool
mhm,
while
beans.
we're painting a room.
mhm.
Man, I'm
Man,
telling
Yeah,
you,
it doesn't get much
2020
better than that.
was a major year, and it was not all that bad.
yeah. So
But
I'm gonna
yeah,
I'm gonna try to keep it light. I don't want to go too deep, but I
I'm
think
sorry, man.
Phil. No. You good, Phil. I think that you hit on a major point for me, and I've been trying to figure out. I'm still going to do a completely separate uh, thing about this, but finding the why. I think Phil, what you just said about finding the why. Why are you practicing? Why are you making music? Why are you creating it? And I know all three of y'all can attest to what I'm about to say. Um, I've been looking for my why for about 10 years now, almost a little over 10 years now. Um, when I lost my mom, I literally wanted to stop playing.
mhm.
Phil Phil Davis told me I wanted to do a record in her honor. Phil Davis said, "Hey man, don't do the record based on how you feel. Do the record based on her memory and honoring her memory. The why. Why are you doing this? Why are you making this music?" Well, fast forward in 2019, lost my dad. So, I'm trying to. I have not, and I don't know if y'all noticed, I have not played a whole lot of trumpet in a long time because I've been trying to find my why, trying to find my way back to playing, find my way back to the music, find my way. So I've been productive, but it hasn't been musically. And in 2020, thank goodness, in 2020, I'm trying to find my why. So I've got people in my ear, encouraging me to play, encouraging me to pick my home back up, encouraging me to get back to it. So right now I'm teaching Mackenzie how to play trumpet, and Marsha's trying to play trumpet too, and I'm starting to listen more to music, and I'm beginning to try to find my way back. But for a lot of cats in 2020, it was the gig stopped, and they stopped, you know? So I
Yeah,
kind of wanted to do this whole talk to encourage cats, number one, to eat just because the gig stopped doesn't mean you have to stop. Maybe this should
sure.
be some encouragement to build your studio, to get some gear, to figure out ways to be more creative, to spend time flying drones or something. You know what I'm saying? To spend some time on a golf course. Whatever it takes to bring the why back to your space. Why would you know?
So
He went through.
I want that for you. I really want that for you. I can't wait till you get to the why so that you play again, because I can't wait for us to play together again. Yeah, so I can't wait for you to get to this. If we have to fly drones, let's do it. If we got to talk junk at a spot, then let's do it in order to get back to that point. Or if you got to get mad enough or sad enough or upset enough to pick up your horn and play mad, play upset, but play something.
I got you. But I didn't. I don't want to go there because then I'm gonna start man misting and stuff. Gonna get my eyes and stuff like that. So,
Man, Mr.
Is that a thing? You made it up.
I don't want to get nothing in my eye, but PJ is still with us. His wife says that we all have nice cameras. The pictures are clear, so shout out to PJ's wife for sharing that.
Thank you so much.
Hey Phil, Phil, I don't know if you've been inspiring people. Myron Carroll said you told him the same thing you told John Beal.
I did. I don't remember.
That just means you're repetitive.
Nothing else to say.
Only Melvin knows this.
Yes, come on. More better makes it more better.
Give me that horn.
Hey, man, it's good to be repetitive when you're saying the right stuff, though, man.
Absolutely. Speaking of finding stuff to do, Phil, PJ said, yes, drones. Yes, drones. Now, I know Phil got a drone. I know PJ is doing some, I'm scared to fly my drone above, 5 feet. I'm scared I'm going to lose it.
I'm never scared. I fly it everywhere.
Myron just laughed. But, guys, so we've been on here for a minute, and I'm supposed to play some music. So I've got this thing that I want to play real quick. I'm going to play a little bit of it. We're going to sit back, relax, and John Beal, set this up for us, man. What do we like to watch a little bit of?
All right, man. So in 2016, man, I did this concert. Okay, real quick. I didn't graduate from Clark Atlanta in 1997 when I was supposed to. I ended up graduating in 2016, which was crazy. That's a whole other story going back 17 years later. But for part of my I guess concert, I finished a CD that year too, and I did a concert that year with this group called the Funkestra that I put together, and it's basically an all-star who's who of dope musicians around Atlanta, and I had the honor of Phil playing with me on that, man, and it was cool, man, because the dope thing about Phil, again, man, is he's this cat that can play with anybody and everybody, but he's still humble enough to play with his friends. So this is that concert. So you can see I got some really, really dope musicians on stage. So in the back, you see there's, I'm gonna talk about it because he ain't here. Y'all can tell him I said this. I got Marcus Williams back there on playing percussion. Man, every instrument you hear, man, is somebody's actually playing it live. So there's no loop or anything going on. But we put Marcus in the back because he had on this white golf shirt. He forgot to wear a suit. I'm joking. But I mean, how do you have Terrell Sass and Marcus Williams on the gig at the same time? And Phil Davis and Sean Michael Ray. So right here, and Melvin, you can probably attest to this. You ever like play your song and you forget what to play because you're so excited about the gig? Phil didn't forget what to play. He remembered what to play while I'm trying to remember. So the guy that was playing, that's Kerry Durham on violin. Really phenomenal young violinist. He's super dope. He plays in tune, which is really, really important, you know, on the violin, because that's like if you don't do that, then you know you're just kind of pulling on strings. But if you listen to his tone, it's just beautiful. And I was talking to him about that one day. He said he learned how to play without vibrato first. And featuring right here, this is Kyle Williams. He's just a super dope guitarist, man, and vocalist. I hesitate because he sings as well as he plays guitar. Thanks, BJ. Oh man, Sean Michael Ray, the man with 3 names. Yeah, he put out a dope album this year too. But yeah, he's back there funking it up on the bass.
The new project he got is like killer.
Oh man, it's special. Yeah, man. So that was the opening tune from that concert, man, and it was a lot of fun. I had some cats on stage on that one, man. It was a real
Yeah.
cool and it
Boy,
was,
did you.
you know,
Yeah, some cats,
you
man.
know,
Look, we ain't talk about Melvin Jones up there in the horn section and
yeah, that's what I
Wilbert.
said. We had
Man,
the other Melvin up there, man. I mean, Phil was there, Sean, Kyle, Jason Sylvain on vocals. Yeah, I mean, just I don't even want to go down the list naming people. I'm gonna leave off somebody. But Ron James later on in that concert, man. Let me tell you something that happened. So there was this song that I featured. It was supposed to feature solos by me and Ron. So Ron went and he played, and literally when Ron got through playing, the band's waiting on me to solo. And I'm literally just looking at Ron like, man, ain't nothing else for me to say. Let's take it back to the bridge and out. Because really, you ever, if I had tried to play anything, it would have been, he had already taken us to the mountaintop.
mm-hmm.
And I think part of being a respected and a good musician is recognizing when anything that you're trying to do at this point is redundant.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
recognizing that, the climax had already been done, and when enough is said, let's just take it home, man, because Ron literally laid it all out on the table. It was a beautiful solo he did on this piece, and we have it captured magically. And there was literally nothing else for me to say. I mean, I would have just been, I don't even want to say it. I would have just been, yeah.
Hey, real quick, with Sean Michael Ray, based off of this extraordinaire,
Yes,
his new project, talking about stuff, positive things happening in 2020. Sean Michael Ray put out some dopeness.
Yes,
Yeah, he did, man.
dopeness.
Hey, man, I'm just gonna say, come on, House. Yeah, Chief.
I was just gonna say, yeah, Chief. Yeah, Chief. But check this out, guys. Real quick. I got to do some shameless plugs real quick. So Sunday night, I want you all to join me at 7 p.m. for the Art of Soul and Jazz. That's each and every Sunday night on WJZA. Phil Davis had to run, but I want to thank Phil for joining us. We've been on, guys, for like an hour and a half. It don't feel like it, but we have been on for an hour and a half. So I don't want to keep y'all any longer, and I want to thank everybody that's listening and hanging out. Sean's laughing at y'all because smart. Yeah, man. Smart.
Hey, Melvin, can I say one last thing?
You can say as many things as you want to.
I'm gonna say this publicly. Me and Jon Roberts have been talking about this for years. Hey, man, we need to do a song together. We need to do some production together. So 2020 is done. I'm saying it officially. We got an audience, and this public record, man. Jon Roberts and I are going to do a project together of some sort next year.
Everybody document that.
It's going to happen. And we're going to video it.
There it is.
Yes.
There it is.
Yeah. How about that?
Oh, so real quick. Speaking of videoing it. So, John Beal, earlier today we were talking about your venture, if you want to share a little bit about, your film scoring, but you're about to do some stuff yourself. And I think that part of what you're doing is because you want to own and be able to do your own scoring for your own films, maybe? Premature?
You talking about me or John?
You,
me the other
JB.
No, not my own films, man. I'm just doing, well, actually I have a musical that I've composed that it's called In the Beginning Was the Drum. And that's all I'm gonna say on that right now.
Okay.
But it's called In the Beginning Was the Drum. And it's a musical that I've composed, and I'm in the process of trying to get it filmed and choreographed as a movie. So
there it is.
That's
and Jon Roberts. You have recently, like you said, you bought. Do you still have that thing you had earlier? That camera you had earlier, is that still behind you somewhere? Or did you move it out?
I don't have it. Actually, I got some more pieces to put on it that I just ordered, but yeah, I got this little thing, this Black Magic Cinema. This is
Yeah.
what we shot the pilot for Patrice Lovely, My House with. Um, and I got my wife blessed me with two 4K small little portable cameras, so I can get the B-roll footage and some side still stuff.
Yeah,
So I'm really really excited. Because it's a new territory, but I'm super excited about it.
yeah. So, guys,
Hey, John,
unfortunately,
I'm proud of you, man. Let me just say that, man. I'm proud of you.
Man, no, I'm proud of you. You put that studio together. I'm like, John gonna make me go on and
he
redo my junk
he
now.
on his knees laying his own floor. Like, really?
Yeah, man. Yeah, Doc, that's what it's about, man. I love it, man. I love it. But let
Uh-oh.
me put this out there.
Jeanette
I'm
Mack Jackson, John.
hey,
Woo! Wow.
I
Wow.
listen in one way. Y'all know about
Yes.
that?
Thank you.
Hey, that,
Phenomenal vocalist, man. Jeanette, what up? What up? But guys, look, I am proud to have you all as my friends. Real talk, real talk. And when we talk about blessings in 2020 and everything that has happened negatively, to be able to share some time talking about positivity and going into 2021, with some positive affirmation, some stuff that's not just New Year's resolution-y, but some positivity that we can grow and we can share with others. I hope that everybody that is listening has had a chance to, reflect on your 2020 and find the positiveness in 2020, taking nothing away from all the loss that so many have shared, but
Yeah.
just find some positiveness. You know, John, John Roberts, anything last you want to say before we get out of here, man?
um, man, there's so much that I could say, but I will say this. I pray that I pray that all of my friends and everybody in the world would learn how to operate from the position of love, peace, compassion, and forgiveness. And I truly feel like if we really operate from that position, then all of the change that we want to see in our world, it'll happen. It'll happen. It starts with us and it just illuminates and spread out. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Hey, let's do it, y'all. We could do that. It don't cost no money, you
Mm,
know.
how about that?
Just no time. And I would like to say one other thing. I was kind of wanting to tag on to what Phil and John was saying earlier, um, as it relates to kind of finding your way back to the creative space, and you get busy doing other stuff, especially when you have a house, because there's always something to do around the crib. Cut grass, tree, whatever. I found what works for me is when I write stuff down. When I write it down, like just like a planner, you know what I'm saying? You're writing it down. And time management is everything. If you really map out your day and I'm going to practice for an hour, or I'm going to paint the deck for an hour, or I'm going to, you know what I'm saying? When you put stuff in check like that, it seems like those goals are easily met and with little to no resistance. And before you know it, you've accomplished a bunch of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So write the vision down, make it plain. Habakkuk 2, that's in the Bible. Um,
Mm.
and then time management. Time management. Time is the only thing that you cannot get back. It's like your virginity. Once it's gone, that's it. It's like
Mm.
yeah, I said that.
That's a comparison.
That's
That's a
real.
But
That's
comparison.
once,
real though.
once it's
Mm-hmm.
gone, it's like, hey, it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you got to be careful who you spend your time with.
How about that?
You don't want to waste your time.
How about that? John Bill, what you got?
Man, so since I've repeated what Phil said, or I'm gonna repeat what John just said now, man, I'm just gonna make it concise. Um, Time management is key. And if you don't have love in your heart while you're doing it, it ain't worth doing.
Mm. How about that? How about that?
Love in your heart, man. Love in your heart. It'll make the world better, man. It's nothing people, it just, it sounds corny, man, but it's so real. gotta have love in your heart, man, for whatever it is that love for each other, love for the music. I mean, that a lot of times the music people, what's wrong with the music today? People say that they don't have enough love in it. And I'm not talking about sleep with you love, just
Mhm.
love for the art. Everything's about money, 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 money. Just love, man. If you have love in your heart, you're gonna survive, man. Money, I don't chase money, and I've been all right.
Mm. How about that?
I've been all right.
How about that? How about that? Well, guys, I want to thank you all for hanging out with me. Um, this has been M3 Live. John Beal, Jon Roberts, thank y'all for hanging out. Until next time, guys, peace and blessings. This is M3 Live. Happy New Year, everybody. And I guess we'll see y'all next year, Saturday. Peace.
Yeah.